This is gonna be I'd say the beginning to the somewhat end of my spiritual journey, because I'm still on it currently. And the journey never stops, because, you know, still learning along the way. But this is basically the story of like when I first started coming into myself spiritually, and then practicing things on my own. Start from birth. I'm gonna speak about things that are already public. Things that have been distorted to depict me in some sort of way. But that ends today. I was not a planned child, nor did I want to be had from the beginning. Read between the lines with that one. I don't know if you've heard of that. There's this phenomena, I don't know what it's called, but basically it's when the baby can feel what the mother is feeling when they're in the womb, basically, and that can project energy onto the child. So if you're basically in my situation, my mother did not want to have me because of the way that I was that I was brought into this world. She wanted an abortion. I'm not gonna say that a lot right now, but she tried punching her stomach to try to get rid of me. And it took somebody else in the family to tell her not to abort me, but to try to instead give me away to someone else. But my mother's thing was that she couldn't stand seeing me at family functions knowing that I was still her child. So she decided to have me and keep me anyway. Fast forward to the time where it was time for her to give birth. Her mother my mom was in pain, and her mother my grandmother had told me while I was in the room to like, hey, it's time to come out, your mom's hurting. And that's when the process was sped up and I was born. There's a lot of projections of guilt. I believe when I was about I don't know how old I was, but my mother, she was in the military, so she had to send me to various friends and family's houses that I could stay at, so I moved around a lot, and I was going through a lot of spiritual battles. Like, this is like singular digits. I had these are on my threads, but I'd say the scariest one was when I had sleep paralysis, and like I had shifted in bed and like my head was like face down in the pillow. I was going through like some sleep paralysis, also anxiety induced, but the things that I experienced while I was conscious, seeing shadow figures and whatnot, taunting me, you know, I had gone through a lot at the time, but I don't know what age she said on her podcast, but this was around the time where my brother had been born, and I was over at a friend's house, and I had a dream that my mother loved my brother more than me. Now, mind you, this is a dream. I told my friend's mom about the dream. I am not living with my parents now because of this whole situation. Because I came into my spiritual gifts. It manifested itself in a different way. So at the time when I was having these dreams, my mom didn't take the time to try to disprove me. Instead, she yelled at me for having a dream that was not even proven yet. Claiming that I was jealous of my brother when no, this is a dream. I had, and because she was not listening to me, I wanted to end it all. In the first grade, I believe. And I only ever felt that way unless I felt trapped or stuck, you know. At least I had one aunt that was nice enough to me. And during those times where I was away from my mother. And it sucks because she criticized her for the same thing, for purging everything on a podcast. So, yes, it is true. She teamed up against me with my stepdad to dismantle my altars. This is fast forward to like most recent events. To dismantle my altars for Lilith and Hecate, and I'm starting at the end again. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is one of those things, these childhood events where I did not receive what I was needing. I had gone through people coming after my sacral energy, which I do not agree with. And instead of actually supporting me fully through the whole thing, my stepdad was on his phone the whole time when I was at one of the district meetings, and my mother could not attend that one, so my stepdad had to fill in. But he was on his phone the whole time, laughing at whatever the hell it was that was more important than me hurting. And now, my mother wants me to go to jail behind her. Because she will not provide proof of income so that I can continue having my benefits. And, oh, there's a crow. Look at that. But she wanted to proceed to give me birthday money. And I ignored her because I ignored her with the whole birthday money issue, because she once again not giving me what I needed. Now I'm gonna have a record because of her. The only reason I'm so calm about it is because I know that it's not my fault. They were heavy on the fact that, oh, you can't have benefits, you can't do that. Why? I don't know. They don't want anybody watching their finances. But I'm no longer at that address. And now she's wondering why I'm ghosting her. She is simply upset. Personally, I think. I'm not gonna assume like she did, but they didn't start acting like this until I started actually doing things for myself. Until I started until I equipped myself with the right spirit guides. Self-love doesn't have anything to do with, or it doesn't have to have anything to do with recovering from a romantic relationship. It can also be reparenting yourself. Being your own best friend. You know, or being your own romantic partner, you know. It's about reconnecting with yourself. The podcast thing, I did not receive any income for my efforts, for my likeness being used. She spoke about it on the phone in front of me with her best friend, but she did not come to me directly and ask me, hey, can I put your mental health, can I put your depression out there for the whole world to see, for the whole world to listen to? And people know what happens when you say no to a parent. I was young, like I was a minor. I didn't know anything about child exploitation. I didn't know anything about that and what that meant. And she can sit here and say, oh, I paid for this, and that. No, it was being distributed in other places but to me. I illustrated your book for you, signed copies for you, and you used my name. You used my character on there. Not only that, they tried to send family members to come and try to convince me to go back to that. I'd rather go to prison. Because I'm not submitting to that. And your parenting skills obviously don't work. So what are you running? A scam. You are simply running a scam, and it needs to stop. And she was thinking of expanding this just to give the rest of the family nothing. Or I don't know, maybe she is. And it's just me. Because I'm the black sheep, but I'm the foundation, I'm the inspiration. I blocked my mother on Instagram because I saw she unfollowed me first. I guess you could call this, I guess you could call me ignoring her over text, going, I don't know, on strike. But it's for good reason. I'm not being petty about it. After I was taken advantage of, I called on Chiron Mammon for justice in love and finances. I believe I was around 17 at the time. I didn't know that they were protecting me, because in love, that person that I was quote unquote competing with, or she ended up doing him dirty anyway. I was really being torn up by the trauma I had been going through. Financially, I was being taken advantage of by my mother. And before she tries to say anything, like, I didn't know she felt that way. You never did come to me first. My best bet with this whole thing is just like, maybe ask for your money back. Because it doesn't work. Since I was 16, I've been trying to run away from her. Two. Yeah, for good reason. Very good reason. She says things like, you can't do it by yourself. You can't do it on your own. But then slowly pushes me out of the house. Does it look like I'm moving at a leisurely pace right now? Yes. Because it's a break. It is healing from all the shit that she's put me through. They also claim that I've made false reports against them when I challenged them to prove me wrong, that the report was not true. They met me with, I don't have to explain myself. I asked them why I had to throw my ulcers out. They said, I don't have to explain myself. I'm an adult. For the remainder of however long I can post, please subscribe, and like, please, and also wait for me, since they still want me to go down for this. For what? I have no idea. Maybe for what I'm doing now. But yeah, I'll still be seeing you guys Tuesday though. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.